5 on your side at 10 starts now.
On the very day the president signs his One Big Beautiful bill,
we could be looking at a fairly large crisis.
people in rural Missouri sound the alarm, concerned about the future of their health care.
This steamy pattern reaches its peak Saturday. That's ahead of shower and thunderstorm chances returning for some of us by Sunday. We're timing out those impacts.
But first tonight, St. Louis celebrates.
We're fortunate to live here in this beautiful country.
We're there as 4th of July festivities unite the community. And tonight's fireworks spectacular over the St. Louis Arch just wrapped up minutes ago. We want to thank you for joining us on this Independence Day. I'm Brent Sullivan. 5 on your side's Mark Maxwell was there for Celebrate St. Louis all day long. Let's take a look at his report.
It doesn't get much more American than this. Under a monument to westward dreams, the skies of St. Louis danced in tribute, not only to independence, but to belonging. Thousands watching in awe, the majestic scene reflecting off the mighty Mississippi. Many staked out their spot hours in advance.
Because it's our birthday, America's birthday.
Karen hosted her friend Denise in town from San Diego.
This is my first trip here, so I'm looking forward to the celebration.
Others came from even farther away.
And you're from
France.
Back home, the Eiffel Tower will sparkle for Bastille Day next week, but tonight, Elise and Joey found a front row seat to America's celebration, dressing the part, soaking in the spectacle.
Yeah, we try to look like American.
Two au pairs halfway around the world swept up in the spirit of freedom.
Yes, the fireworks will be very nice, so we are there for that.
The riverfront drew all kinds to our camera, even one unassuming, aspiring reporter.
It's just in. It's very hot outside.
So hot, his service dog Boone wears special shoes to shield from the scorching pavement. Why endure all this heat?
It's extremely special to me because the sacrifice that the American soldiers made at Valley Forge is the only reason why this country even exists.
Retired paratrooper Chris Labonte now helps fellow veterans use comedy to fight their battles with mental health.
I haven't celebrated 4th of July in probably 4 years, 5 years, so I'm just excited to see everything.
Why is that?
When you get out of the military, you lose your family, you lose your friends, and you become isolated, and that's what this whole get-together and organization is all about fixing.
This day is a reunion with his newfound brothers in red, white, and blue.
It's incredible, and to be able to have everybody partake in the celebration of that sacrifice, it gets my juices going.
That sense of celebration filled the skies and young eyes with bright flashes of awe and inspiration. The kind that unites us all. People from as far away as the West Coast, as far east as our first allies across the Atlantic, or those who would deploy even farther in uniform, gathering under the gateway to the West.
It gives us time to celebrate and how wonderful America is. And we're fortunate to live here in this beautiful country and be free, and that's what it's all about.
Yes, it certainly is. Mark Maxwell reporting. Well, city police say 2 minors are in custody for setting off fireworks downtown. This happened near 9th and Chestnut. Police also seizing fireworks from several adults in that same area last night. Tonight, St. Louis police made 9 arrests. 8 of those involved minors. Police will have more officers patrolling downtown through the night. If you enjoy the fireworks outside tonight, you felt the warmth outside, and the heat isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
No, it's a very warm night, Brent. I'm going to jump in here because I just want you to look at this. This is the finale of the fireworks tonight. You're looking live at it as it's happening under the Gateway Arch tonight. What a spectacular fireworks show this evening. That's gone on for about 25 minutes. That's pretty impressive. Of course, these fireworks in the foreground are probably the illegal ones that the police will be responding to. But we had the Superman drone show. You watched it live on 5+ before the newscast. Really nice stuff down under the arch tonight. Still in the 80s at this hour. 85 at Lambert, feels like 87 degrees. And here's the thing, the wind's very light out of the south, so that fireworks smoke, well, it's going to kind of settle around and drift to the north tonight. That means air quality issues, in the areas where fireworks have been set off will be localized in that orange category for a little bit. Patchy smoke around through early tomorrow. Then once the breeze picks up, we'll redistribute that and clear things out. We'll talk more about the rest of the weekend and the rain chances arriving on Sunday in a few minutes, Brent.
All right, Scott, we're going to see you then. Developing tonight, a 17-year-old is dead after a shooting in Alton. Police were called to Oakwood Avenue around 2 this morning, and that's where they found that teen shot. Police say they have a person of interest, but so far no word if anyone is in custody. The victim's name has not been released. Tonight, Illinois State Police investigating after a body was found in the Metro East. 2 kayakers found someone in a lake at Frank Holton State Park today. Police are still trying to figure out how that person died. No word yet on that person's identity. Tonight, 5 people are home after having to be rushed to a hospital when a car slammed into a fireworks stand Thursday. It happened at a Walmart parking lot in Festus. 4 adults and a 6-year-old were all hurt. 5 on your side's Justina Cornell is in Jefferson County speaking with one of those victims.
This Festus fireworks tent shuts down on 4th of July, one of the busiest days of the year. Fireworks are shipped off, thousands of dollars in inventory damaged. That's because on the eve of Independence Day, officials say an 84-year-old man was backing up his minivan and slammed into this tent. 5 people were hurt, including a 6-year-old boy who was under the car but crawled out.
My injuries were concussion. They x-rayed my leg. It wasn't broke. They think that maybe it's possible to have some ligament and tendon issues.
These are the injuries Christopher Warnke faces after getting hit by the minivan.
I was thrown 15 feet.
He was buying fireworks for his children. As he was paying, he heard tires screech.
By the time I looked at it, there was a table, a tent coming in at the same time, and the register flying, and his car just nailing my whole right side.
And he was thrown to the other side.
It's amazing that there was no more really, really bad injuries, considering how hard he was coming in, and it was just like a flash.
In a flash, confusion and chaos took over. Now Warnke just wants clarity and closure.
I just hope everybody makes it out of this okay. It's just, I don't have any ill will or ill thoughts or anything along that lines of the driver. Clarity is just one of those things that we need to figure out what happened, because it was just a weird accident that nobody has an explanation yet of. And we're hoping that we actually get some.
Justina Cornell reporting. Missouri State Highway Patrol is now investigating how this happened. Right now, they do believe it was an accident. Right now, police are investigating a crash that shut down I-70 for an hour today. It happened around 1 this afternoon near Adelaide Avenue in North St. Louis. We're still waiting to hear from police about what led up to that crash or if anyone was hurt. Tonight, St. Louis police need your help finding 3 suspects wanted for a murder in Dutchtown. Police released these photos of those suspects. They say they were involved in the shooting death of Jesse Woods back in April. Friends say he was walking to a gas station near his home to get ice when he was killed. Anyone with info is asked to call police. 2 local groups are coming together to help people impacted by the May 16th tornado. The Boys and Girls Club of Greater St. Louis and Impact Together STL will hold a relief drive tomorrow. It will be at the Herbert Hoover Club. That's on North Grand Boulevard from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. They will have hot meals, bottled water, and toiletries all on hand. Just hours ago, President Donald Trump signed his big, beautiful bill into law. The president had set today as his deadline for getting that bill signed. He signed it at the military family picnic at the White House. And that bill includes trillions in tax cuts and funding for border security. It also gets rid of taxes on tips and overtime and adds a child tax credit. The measure defunds Planned Parenthood.
We made promises, and it's really promises made, promises kept, and we've kept them. This is a triumph of democracy on the birthday of democracy, and I have to say that the people are happy.
Democrats say the policy will raise the national deficit by trillions. The bill includes massive cuts, by the way, to Medicaid and food stamp programs. And that's worrying some people in rural Missouri who are speaking out tonight. Ryan Gamboa explains the impact.
Dinner time in Harrisonville draws a crowd. Willie Ogden drove from Garden City, Missouri.
10-15 minutes.
What he really came to do was pick up his mom from Cass Regional Medical Center.
She just had some stomach issues, we'll put it like that.
Jessica Thomas is eating for two. She's expecting a new baby in November.
We are very excited. We prayed for this one.
Thomas tells me she's a Medicaid recipient. Access to her local hospitals sometimes isn't enough. She's a high-risk pregnancy, and in her first delivery, Kansas City was her only option.
An hour drive can definitely change a lot of things.
The GOP-led Big Beautiful bill that passed the Senate on Tuesday would cut over $1 trillion in Medicaid benefits. The Kaiser Family Foundation reported in May that 2 in 7 Missouri Medicaid recipients live in a rural area. Half of those recipients are children. The Missouri Hospital Association tells me changes to Medicaid will impact hospital service reimbursements, meaning some rural hospitals may need to cut services.
We could be looking at a fairly large crisis relative to overall funding for hospitals through Medicaid and then the structure of our rural health delivery system.
Dinner might look different for Thomas, as she could be forced to pay for health care out of pocket.
Lucky right now that we're able to have access to that.
Ogden, he worries about his neighbors and the food taken from their plates.
Put yourself in our shoes. Rural communities don't have a lot of money. We work hand to mouth. Put yourself in our shoes that don't make a lot of money, and maybe you'll understand something.
Even more 4th of July fun taking over our area.
It's a great opportunity to celebrate.
A lot of the community is very involved with it.
The Independence Day events as we head into the holiday weekend.
Rinse and repeat is the theme for Saturday. Heat and humidity hanging tough. The changes coming Sunday, though, that may give a few of us a good drenching.
Just hours ago, the Webster Groves Community Days Parade marched through town. The parade featured dozens of floats, and the festivities didn't stop there. After the parade, a Community Days Carnival at the Lions Club. In the last hour, fireworks went off in Webster Groves over at Memorial Field. Well, today the Bridgeton 4th of July parade got a little bigger thanks to some out-of-state help. A Minnesota high school traveled to participate in the parade there. Organizers say they believe it's the first time they've ever had an out-of-state school in the event. The parade started on Lockport Drive and went all the way to Machinist Hall. Well, for more than 30 years, families in O'Fallon have celebrated the 4th of July pretty big, and that didn't stop today. 5 on your side's Travis Cummings is in St. Charles County with a closer look.
A melodic march down Main Street.
Yeah, we absolutely love the O'Fallon Parade.
This is year 3 for John Scardina and his family.
It's a great opportunity to celebrate the 4th of July, Independence Day, and obviously grab a bunch of candy for the kids, so we love it.
For them, the Freedom Fest parade is tradition and a way to show appreciation to their hometown heroes. Flags and floats are the centerpiece.
We're able to support our first responders, community members, the bands even, the schools.
The 2-mile route, in place since 1994, draws thousands dressed in red, white, and blue, cheering for patriotic floats and performers vying for cash prizes and trophies. Young people lead the way.
I am here to watch my grandkids in the parade, and we've been coming here for years, many, many years, and enjoy all this beautiful scenery and all the nice people around us.
And the parade, just the icing on America's birthday cake, with a carnival to follow. A small town with a big allegiance.
Happy 4th of July!
Travis Cummings, 5 on your side.
And the fireworks in O'Fallon is getting underway as we speak. The festival there continues tomorrow from 4 until 10 p.m. Let's see how the weather will hold up for that big event. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell back now. You know, it's pretty hot, but it is summer, so it makes sense.
You know, it's typical. We have the summertime heat and humidity. What we didn't get today and what we don't expect tomorrow are the typical afternoon showers and thunderstorms. This pattern's conducive to kind of squashing that activity, which is good for our 4th of July festivals that carry on tomorrow and in some cases go on into Sunday. There's a look out into St. Charles. You can see a little bit of that fireworks smoke there in the distance. There's a fair amount of fireworks still going off across the area. Here's a look down in Arnold and Jefferson County. We have some fireworks still happening. That shot has gotten noticeably smokier within the last hour or so. We are talking temperatures still above 80 degrees. Even in the outlying areas, you're in the upper 70s, close to 80 degrees. The showers and storms are all off to our west, and they should stay there tomorrow. Low to mid 90s for highs. It will feel like it's 95 to 97 tomorrow afternoon. And as the breeze picks up tomorrow morning, we should mix out the smoke. So that'll linger with some poor air quality overnight, and then we'll get rid of that. Tomorrow, thicker clouds are out over mid-Missouri. Maybe some isolated afternoon showers are far western areas. We're talking west of the Warren County Fair. We're talking west of Sullivan. I don't think most of that's going to make it anywhere close to St. Louis. We're going to talk temperatures that are still in the 90s tomorrow. But as we head into Sunday, there's a little extra cloud cover into the mix. There is a boundary approaching from the north and west. And while you can't completely rule out a morning shower or thunderstorm, the better chances of seeing scattered showers and thunderstorms will happen during the afternoon and early evening hours on Sunday. It doesn't appear as though there's much of a severe weather threat, but having said that, there will be some downpours. And out of a few of the storms, when those downpours collapse, you could get some gusty winds. Some of us will need rain gear on Sunday, but not all of us. And again, it's not expected to be widespread rain for everybody, just some of us. 93 degrees for the high today. 74 is our low this morning. It's still 85. Dew points are in the mid-60s, and they'll stay on the high side tomorrow and get even higher even into Sunday and Monday when we have dew points in the lower 70s. That means Sunday into Sunday evening, scattered showers and thunderstorms. We probably have a bit of a break on Monday in that rain chance, but Tuesday into Wednesday and Thursday, some more disturbances sliding through to work with that warm, muggy air. So the potential for some showers and thunderstorms there. Temperatures are in the upper 80s, lower 90s. Right into early next week. Tomorrow's probably the hottest day out of the next 10.
And the rain chances really seem pretty consistent from
They're
day to day.
consistent, but it's scattered, so not everybody gets wet.
No downpour, really. All right, my friend, thank you much. We've got Corey standing by.
The Cardinals had a 4th of July to forget. The Blues have found themselves in an interesting trade rumor, and the greatest eater of all time dominated another Independence Day. Sports is up after the break. Cardinals and Cubs at Wrigley Field on the 4th of July is about as close to a perfect baseball scenario as you can get. Just one problem. The Cubs had planned on replicating this iconic scene from a Bugs Bunny cartoon. The Cardinals, well, they weren't in on the joke. I'm not going to do traditional highlights of this one. I'm just going to show you all 8 Cubs home runs. Miles Mikolas gave up 6 of them. It is a Cardinal record for home runs given up by a pitcher in a game. 2 of Chicago's homers came from Pete Crow Armstrong, and 3 came from Michael Busch. The 8 total dingers are the most by the Cubs in a game in franchise history and the most given up by a Cardinals team in a single game in St. Louis history. The Cubs won 11-3 to extend their central lead to 6.5 games over the Cardinals. But all anyone is talking about after this one is the home run history.
It's the coolest. There's a lot of history that has, been created at this ballpark, and good group of guys to add to that with.
It has been a busy week of news for the St. Louis Blues. The roster will look a bit different next season after a few signings and one big trade. But could there be yet another move on the horizon? There's a bit of smoke out there around the Blues' interest in Buffalo Sabres defenseman Bowen Byram. Yesterday, the Athletics' Jeremy Rutherford reported that the Blues have been, quote, trying hard to get him. Byram is a 24-year-old defenseman who just put together a 38-point season in Buffalo. Here's what Doug Armstrong said yesterday about the current state of his roster.
You don't have to be a rocket scientist to look at our roster and see where it is, and I don't see a lot of changes now. With the caveat, I could go back there and I could be out here in an hour and a half, but I don't see it. I think we're excited about this group, and I hope we're better.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
City SC is spending their holiday weekend out in Utah. They will play Real Salt Lake tomorrow night, and they will likely be significantly shorthanded, with the injury list getting longer and longer. Sure, it's a setback, but the players are not using it as an excuse.
You know, when you get out on the field, I think the entire team, the staff, the club, you know, has faith in the 11 that we're putting out and the guys coming in. So you try not to dwell on it too much because you can't really control that stuff. And I think, you know, as an athlete, you have to focus on what you can control because there's so many things that you can't.
Babe Ruth, Wayne Gretzky, Tom Brady, Joey Chestnut. He's one of the GOATs, and he made his return to the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest today at Coney Island. Chestnut was banned last year after a contract dispute, but he returned like he never left. 70.5 hot dogs and buns down in 10 minutes to easily cruise to his 17th mustard belt.
Showing up is the hardest part sometimes, and but I love being here. And as soon as I found out I was coming, my body, it was easy to train, and I love doing it, and I love pushing myself and beating the heck out of people.
It's the 4th of July, so I have to break out my annual throwback. 1986, Michael Jordan and other NBA stars put on a show under the arch. Doesn't that sound like an insane sentence? Look at some of these moves, too. MJ, Dominique Wilkins, Patrick Ewing, others. They all gave folks a holiday memory for a lifetime. Now, Art Holliday was actually a referee in that game. I asked him once, I said, now, did you blow the whistle? Did you call some fouls on Michael Jordan? And no.
You can't do that.
No, he did not. He absolutely did not call any fouls on Michael Jordan.
Just let Michael Jordan have it, man. Very good. Corey, thanks for that. Well, still ahead, an amazing new exhibit. See the City Museum's latest and biggest attraction. 5 on Your Side News Director and former Today in St. Louis anchor Art Holliday. Speaking of him, he's retiring after 46 years. You're invited to a lighthearted roast to celebrate. It's July 15th at the Missouri History Museum. Join us for happy hour at 5. The program is free. It starts at 6:30. Well, the City Museum has a new challenge for visitors. The museum opened a brand new labyrinth today. It's the most expansive exhibit on the museum's 4th floor. Museum employees say it's made out of repurposed materials like old syrup tanks, Twinkie pans, and salvaged glass from the St. Louis Central Library. Access to the labyrinth is included with general admission. And very quickly, Scott, I do want to find out, because we've got a holiday weekend here. How are we looking?
Pretty much steamy. Same old thing again tomorrow as today. Temperatures are in the mid-90s, feeling like it's closer to 100 at times tomorrow afternoon. Then we'll have a chance for some scattered showers and storms by Sunday afternoon.
All right, keep that water on hand. My friends, we hope you had a great 4th. That's all of our time. Remember, we're always streaming on 5+. We leave you now with a look at the fireworks spectacular from tonight's Celebrate St. Louis.